Okay, so I thank you ladies all for joining with me today. Today is December 28th, and wanted to join together today just so that we can call in. I'm actually going to do 2 crystals today because I'd like to connect with everybody every month to draw on the frequency and the energetic crystal for the month. But since it's so close to January, we're going to draw in the overarching crystal for the year, and also one for January. So I've actually been stepping into some of the collective here. First of all, let's go ahead and kind of connect and just kind of ground into Mother Earth, and just let's take a few deep breaths. Maybe put your, if you're able, Jerry, if you're driving, please don't, put your hands on your heart. And maybe one on your sacral, one on your heart, one on your sacral, and just take a few deep breaths. Breathe in through your mouth, exhale through your, breathe in through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Let go of all the stresses of the day. Let go of what no longer doesn't really belong to you. Just exhale it out. And I'm going to ask you kind of just put your feet on the ground. Oh, nice and solid. Connect with the earth, Mother Earth's energy, and just let's breathe for a moment. Tap into the heartbeat that is hers. Feel it through your feet. Let's breathe from your heart space all the way down into the earth. Feel our roots just growing, tapping into her core. Let's bow down to the mother and wait for her to respond. Pull her energy back up into your, in through your feet, all the way up into your heart, and let her nourish you. Send your breath down, her energy back up, and just breathe like that for just a few breaths. And then just bring your awareness back to your body, into your heart space, and come back to, just come back into your body. And at your own time, just return. Oh, and thank you, thank you. Oh. Well, that helped. So, gosh, for the last couple of days, I've been kind of tapping into the energies of the collective. that are out there. And I think what I want, what has been calling me today and kind of to bring to this gathering and for the collective is community, and what that really, boy, when I think of community, what it means to me is everyone come, unite for the good of the whole. And that really seems to be present. I know there's so much light, so much dark, and we need it seemed, and I know that I have some reactions sometimes. I can't even believe half of the things that are going on. But what I want to invite in is that we need all of this in order for us to really discern what is our right way to live. That darkness allows us to see what light and what we don't, so community is something that's really important that I've been tapping into with the collective. So, and I also felt that reciprocity and a give and take, and the energetic feeling of Aini, which is reciprocity and give and take, is really important. That that we need to give as much as we need to receive. We need to receive as much as we need to give. We need to fill ourselves up before we can give sometimes. So I think that's also something that's important, and kind of what I wanted to also share with you about the crystals. I have a lot of crystals here, and what I did today before I use them, I cleanse them. And I'm also I didn't do this yet because my husband's kind of allergic to smoke of this, but I'm going to do it now, just a little bit. I cleanse them. I use sound on them. I wanted to nurture them and treat them as a sacred object instead of a tool that I'm just going to use at whim. Because they are conscious beings. Stones are conscious beings. And their messages are subtle very often. Sometimes, they're not. But for me to really, I need to respect them. It's important for me to respect them, to show them gratitude. So I'm also going to send them a little love here. I sprayed them with some beautiful essential oils today. I cleared their frequency with sound. Sound is a really wonderful way to get them back to a base frequency. And it really doesn't take much. I did that earlier. I've opened sacred space earlier also. Crystals really almost always stay at their resonant frequency unless they are really jarred, or sometimes they're mining. Ethical mining isn't ethical, and the explosives and things that they use will sometimes jar them out of frequency, but they normally remain in their frequency. Oh, okay. I was reading what Layla was saying to everyone. So I just want to know that it is important to me that we respect the stones, we treat them as sacred objects, as conscious beings. That's what I always want to try to put across to everybody when I'm working with, I just don't, the more you work with them, and just hold them and nourish them, put oil on them, do all those things, you will connect with them. You will, and sometimes it's very subtle. Mostly when I'm working with the stone, first things I do are I'll pick it up, and what I want to know. Sometimes the first impression I get from a stone is if I look at it, and if I can say, I've got Layla as, sorry. I can give me like 5 or 6 words right off the bat, boom, 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 without actually thought. You want to heart speak. Take it from your heart. Those are your first threads. Those are your first messages. So those are what are kind of really important when you're working with the stone. Just do quick little things like that. And, I mean, just like I can pick this one up, and what do I see? To me, I see a frog. I see green. It's cool. All those things that I also see like little valleys and bumps and crevices. So all those little things that I see very quickly, feel, hear, if they, whatever I sense, not see, sense, because sometimes my clairs are knowing and feeling, not necessarily sight. So I invite you to look at the stones in that manner. So today, what I'm going to do is, there's a lot of different ways actually to pull a stone for the year. A lot of people use cards. Now I do have, if you want to use cards, if you don't have a lot of stones, this is the Crystal Ally Cards Evolution Edition by Naisha Ashian. Those are the ones I recommend. I mean, she was my teacher. And of course, I recommend everything of hers. She no longer teaches, by the way, but the cards in here, the work, but these are amazing. There's not a lot of crystal decks out there that have amazing information and are very connected. I also, when I was choosing these stones today, well, actually, I've done it over a course of a few days. I actually chose them according to their elemental energies. I didn't want to choose all stones that were earth energy. I didn't want, water energy, storm energy, whatever. So I chose a mixture of everything. So when I was pulling from the collective, it would be a stone that would be more, true to what I was pulling for. And I also want to invite you, because I want everyone to feel empowered, and that everybody has their own base frequency, their own resonance, and it's totally different than mine. So what your stone for the year might be totally different than my stone for the year. What I pull and you pull might be two different things. So I want you to feel, if you choose, this stone is for the collective that I'm pulling today. And if you don't feel that it resonates with you, I'm inviting you, encouraging you, inspiring you to, get some stones, do it yourself. You can even take pictures. If you don't have stones, you can even cut out pictures of stones, draw that way. If you don't have cards, if you don't have stones, you can go out and pick up some beautiful stones out in nature that call to you in any way. So you don't have to have stones to do this. You can just use their essence. You can call in their essence just by a picture. Okay. So I've cleansed the stones today. I've done all that. Now I'm putting them in a bag. Okay. I have this wonderful little bag and I am going to draw. But what I first wanted to tell you, which was so neat, I did draw a card for this today's, actually two cards, an oracle card today for today's session. And what I got was all is connected. So I thought that was, wow, what a wonderful confirmation of community. And, that we are all connected and, we are all one. And my other card, a tarot card that I pulled, was the Hermit. And that is going inside, finding your light, finding that divine sparkle, your solitude, your solitary path if so needed. So, and that really is what it takes to connect with the stones. It really is almost a solitary path. I can't teach you, I can give you semantics on how to do it. But really, you need to almost discover your own way. I can, give you tips and hints and tips, but really the only way I know is to work with them. To really work with them and discover your intuitive whispers with the stones, because sometimes their messages are so subtle that, and I've even had stones where, boy, I have, oh my God, that they don't feel good around me. I don't feel good in there and near them. I don't want them near me, where other people just love them and lighten them up. So it all has to do with my frequency, where my balance is versus your balance. So this is really a solitary journey. The hermit it's so true. Crystals, working with crystals and your own frequency, that's what it's all about. So we all heal in different ways. They're supportive. They're there to offer us light, mystical moments, intuitive whispers, as I said. But they're not, I don't think they're going to protect you from a virus type thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're not that. They're not tools that they could be. I don't know, but you understand what I'm trying to say, I hope. So I'm going to put my stones into a bag. Yeah, I have 46 stones here. Okay. I had a lot more and I took some out. You know, that is a lot of stones, but I wanted to make sure there was plenty in there besides just the ones that we all know. So we probably do all know these. So I'm going to put these in here. And you know I had to pretty much use stones that were polished because, you know, a lot of mine are fragile. So you can't put them in a bag. You can't really, so take care of that way. And here I'm throwing them on the floor instead of putting them in my bag. Excuse me a moment. So now what I was taught was stones. There are 5 elements: earth, which is the physical makeup, you know, our home, our working relationship, money, the same as we use in tarot cards. Fire, our passion, our life source, not our life source, that's earth, I'm sorry, but our passion, our creativity, our fire, our personal will and power. Water, which is our emotions, you know, our heart space, all that. Wind, I call it wind instead of air. Wind is more, to me, that's only because of what I was taught. Wind is more your connection with the divine, communication, intuition, and then storm. Storm is a combination and a combination of all the elements that are active at one time. So storm, and you know, I always ask, well, why can't I just use a storm stone? It'll just activate everything, but that's not the case, because storm is like the tower. It levels everything normally. And then, so we might not want a storm in our life. We might want things that to come a little more easily. I would not, you know, I wanted storm right away when I started working with crystals. I wanted to be balanced. I wanted to have everything right all at once. And I tell you, it didn't work very well for me. I had a lot of crisis in my life is what came up and things like that. So there's an easier way to work with balancing with the stones rather than to start with storm. So, but we've got all 5 elements in this bag. And what I'm going to ask you to do, we're going to focus on the intention. And my intention for the collective, and again, this is my intention, so was community. So I am going to, and oftentimes when I want to connect my stones, I'll place them on my heart space. Just place them there for a moment. Place them on my sacral, my womb space. Place of passion and intuition, not intuition, instinct. Place them on my 3rd eye. And then I'm going to flow into these stones, and that's my soul. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And all the while, I was thinking of community. So, because my stones have a lot of different shapes and all that, and I know the shapes, I am going to kind of put my hand inside and just whatever I touch first. Okay, is going to be the stone. Oh, okay. Well, this kind of, this is interesting. So this stone is ancestral light. It is an iron ore. And what it is a fire and an earth stone. It's a combination of fire and earth. And I'm not going to give you a lot of information because I want you, if you can also look up iron ore. Okay, if you can't find ancestral light, if you want this stone, iron ore, tiger ore, or ancestral light. And it is about, it's supporting, you can support in healing karmic and ancestral issues. And it connects you to both the energy of the earth and of the stars. And also it connects you from the dawn of time to present time. So this is really about providing insight and wisdom on your ancestral lineage, connecting with them, and working with those ancestral issues. So that's very interesting. And I keeping this separate because, our ancestors, not only do we have wounds that we see, all the ancestral wounds, they have much to give us, much light. So let's focus on some of that, possibly in working with this stone as well. Because I know I've been working on healing my ancestral wounds for a very long time. So I sometimes forget that, boy, they certainly did provide a lot of wisdom and everything to me that I don't really count. I could somewhat discount that. So I want to remind us all to do that. So that, let's embrace the knowledge of our ancestors and our roots. So that kind of was my opinion. It seems like that was, when we were doing that vision board, that was one of my, to embrace my roots. So I pulled the ancestral stone for the collective. I'm wondering, really, was it for me too? So stones are so wise. So, and I'll post this later, this stone. I have different, I have like 3 or 4 of them, so I'll put them all out there so you can kind of take a look. And you don't necessarily have to buy one. You can just soak in the energy of the picture because it definitely is there. And if this resonates with you, if you want to work with this stone, please do. If this is not to be your overarching stone of the year, that is perfectly fine. Okay, so I wanted to draw a stone for January. And here I'm thinking more of reciprocity and Aini and give and take. So those 2 themes came up for me. And so here we have ocean jasper. Interesting that I came up with 2 earth stones. Both of these are earth, but ancestral light has earth and fire. But, and you would think, okay, ocean jasper should have some water in there, shouldn't it? But jaspers are mostly they're all earth stones. And this is a beautiful gray. A lot of them are browns, a lot of different colors. And ocean jasper, oh, let me see, that actually will offer some support in harnessing your inner strength. I don't want to give you too much on, but I do want to give you a few words. It really supports you in enjoying life, joy, positive self-expression. So it's really harnessing your inner strength and personal power is mostly what ocean jasper can offer you. But of course, I want to say this over and over and over again. What you discover is what, you're the one that, when you look up a stone's prescription or what it means in a book, you're really limiting your power. So I encourage everyone to always work with the stone first before they look it up. Now, I do know that sometimes it's difficult to discover the elemental energy of a stone. I know that. So I have used the book by Robert Simmons and Aisha Asian, The Book of Stones, if anyone wants to discover the elemental energy, because I work with the elemental energy and it really can support you in balancing. If you have real high fire, honestly, even physically you have high fire where you're breaking out in rashes, things like that. If you carry around an earth stone, it will reduce that fire. So there is prescriptive uses for stones that you can work with. So I, of course, if you don't know the elemental energy, you want to work with it according to their energy, you sometimes have to look it up. Believe me, I had to start that way. That's the only way I know. But I suggest that you kind of wait, hold back, and don't look at the meaning. So I didn't want to give you too much because I want you to discover your own meaning. Okay, so I know we can also follow along. We're pulling 2 cards with time between time. Every day we're pulling a card, an oracle, a tarot. I'm inviting you to pull a stone with that. So, January, this is my collective, and I will be pulling my own stones, honestly, with my own intentions, with what I want. I'll be pulling my own stones. So I invite you to, with the time between time, pull a stone also for every single day, those 12 days, and those are the days of next year. I invite you to do that. So that's, honestly, that's it. That's how I pull a stone of the year. I mean, it's actually very simple, and it just takes a little bit to connect with them. Now, I would absolutely journal. Whatever, journal, whatever prompts you have, anything you get from this stone, write it down. And continue working with it. I suggest continue working with it. Actually, for the whole month would be great, but 1 stone a week. That's really, I had to put away, when I first learned how to work with crystals, I had to put away all the stones in my house. I could only work with 1 crystal a week, nothing else. And only for the first month, the earth energy. I could not bring anything else in until I was complete with that. Had to do my meditations every day, connect in with the guardians of the stones, do all that before I could move on to another crystal. So I do have a meditation that is in the guidebook. Is that what it's in? Okay, it's in the guidebook. Can I put the meditation in? I can put the meditation. How you might have to show me how to do that. I'll just put it in the group. I won't put it on my page, but it'll be in the group. The meditation that will teach you how to awaken to a stone. You can actually listen to that meditation, and any stone you want to awaken to, you will be able to do that with that meditation. Okay. So trying to think of what else I need to tell you. Questions, ladies, and can I offer any additional information?
I was just going to say that ancestral light feels just perfect.
Oh,
because my overall card for the year, I showed
miracles. I remember miracles.
Well, I've gone deeper into this actually, but because I've been kind of looking. I didn't realize that. So the artist, actually on her site, she has different names for these cards. And on her site, it's not miracles, it's Isis Rising.
Oh,
so that took me along a bit of a path where I was on a YouTube, and I was listening to this woman who's kind of an expert on Isis. She's written a kind of best-selling book, and she was actually saying that in ancient Egypt, being a magician was a positive thing. However, when Isis was imported into Greek and Roman societies, they were more wary of the idea of a magician. So then they started talking about her more as performing miracles or wonders.
Oh,
I remember when I showed you this card last, Karen, you kind of zoned
the
in
ancient
on
wisdom, yes.
and so it's kind of come right round full circle. So from a word that felt a little bit like I was waiting for something to land in my lap, it now feels much more, it's about finding your own magic within. And the reason why that the ancestral light feels really perfect, you probably can't see it here, there's actually like a pyramid here. And these structures were built, weren't they, so that kind of energy could kind of flow up to the stars and down again. So when you talk about that
and that's the ancestral light going connect to the earth and to the stars. Well, how cool.
Yeah. And then when you talked about from the dawn of time to the present time as well, so it just feels, ancestral light feels like a perfect stone to go with this card. And I mean, I'm quite interested in sort of ancestral learning about ancestors and things like that, and some ancestral healing, but also as well as kind of ancestors of blood or ancestors that we know. There's kind of also, this kind of makes me think there's spiritual.
Well, I know when you're calling in the north, grandmothers, grandfathers, ancient ones, I feel those ancestors are also in there, the ancient ones that we are ancestors too. So how amazing. And this really went along with my card, as I said. Oh my goodness. So, I mean, that mine was embrace ancient knowledge, embrace the knowledge from the ancestors is basically what it was. So how can I not use this?
Yeah, I'm so grateful, because I would never have come across that stone. I wouldn't have found it in my local store. Now I say that, it'll probably turn up there next time I go.
Call it in. Just ask, call it in. That's all you have to do. Call in the stone, it'll come. So wonderful. Well, great, wonderful. So and and when I look at ocean jasper, about this give and take here, I think, when I think of the ocean, even though this is jasper, ocean jasper has to have some water energy. If it's called that, to me, it has to have some water energy. And here I see the tides coming in and going out and coming in and going out, the earth and the water and that flow. So that Aini and all that reciprocity. So that kind of really, actually, I might just keep these as my stones instead of for the collective. I just might. So, oh, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was wonderful. Ladies, anything else? Any other questions?
I can share.
Okay.
I have a small collection of stones, but I've been working more with stones that I find in the
Oh, wonderful.
store.
Yeah, I have lots of stones that I found.
But last year I got a tarot deck, which is based on stones and plants, and it's called the Telluric tarot.
Oh, that's beautiful. I have never seen that. Okay.
And I pulled one for the year for myself, and the Chariot card came up, and which is
and it's the 7th.
Chariot year as well. So
and then, is that a smoky quartz?
No, it's the lodestone and jewelry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what element is that?
I would say it's an earth stone.
Okay.
I'm pretty positive.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's I'm pretty sure it's got ore and
yeah, it has. It's magnetic.
Yeah. And I will tell you, you can't always I sometimes want to go by the color of a stone that will tell me the element, but that's not always the case.
Obviously not, because of the one that you have, the ocean jasper.
Jasper is,
I would have said water.
Right. And also, like, let's see. Let me pull one out that, you know, a lot of the pinks and things like that are heart stones or heart chakras, most of them. I mean, oftentimes they do have something to do with that, but not always. I like all calcite has a fire energy, but it also can, because of the color, can also have something else. But this is a gemmy rhodochrosite. And most people think rhodochrosite that I know of, most people, and rhodonite, both of these are fire stones. And I'm sure most people probably think they're water because of the color, and maybe not this rhodochrosite is not the typical color. This is a gemmy one. They're mostly pinks. But and malachite, even though it's green, it is a firestone. So we don't always know that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known that at all. And that's interesting because I mean, although I like red to wear, I tend not to go for like the red stones. I tend to go for like the more clear stones usually in like the more pastel colours. But I've got some malachite, but I would never have thought that that was fire just by looking at it.
If you have, I had suppressed fire, and I worked with this stone during one of my weeks, and I got rashes on my lips, down my legs, and because I had suppressed fire and the fire started coming out, and that's how it came out. So I had to carry an earth stone. That's how I know to carry. That's how I was instructed to carry an earth stone for a couple days, and everything cleared. So yeah, it's very different. Like a lot of the blue stones, they really are. A lot of them are wind or what. See, now I do my chakras a little differently also. I was taught that the root is earth, the sacral and the solar plexus are fire. Now in traditional yoga and tantra yoga, it's water is the sacral. But for me, and then these two are, goodness, wind. I'm sorry, not wind. This is these two are water, and this is wind. This is wind, and storm is above. So I was taught that, and so it's different than, and it actually makes a lot more sense to me. They said because they, I guess in traditional, the heart chakra is wind, and it really didn't sit well with me. To me, that's more of an emotional water place. They said like that was 5,000 years ago. Some of that was developed, and over the course of the, you know, a lot of things have changed, and I don't know, but it always sat with me properly to do it that way. And I mean, it's kind of colored some of my other teachings though, because I know in shamanism, they don't necessarily do it that way. And when I was receiving the bands of power in Lunakai, I had a really hard time with the water one going at my, I'm sorry, at my sacral. So I had to learn not to be so rigid. So a lot of teachings are different. But so I learned that those different chakras holding different stones, and that's the way I apply the elemental energies of the stones as well, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I have a few sort of technical questions about
Okay.
stone storage because, well, this one, this stone here, I've had it. So my kind of main sort of sacred space is at the front of the house facing north, and then the gable end of the house faces west, and it gets lashed with rain. So this is quite a damp room, no matter what I do with it. And I noticed that on the bottom, and I don't think I'd have bought it with that kind of.
Move it over a little bit to the other way. Yeah, right there. I'm thinking that's probably some type of tourmaline in there, is what it looks like. Yeah. Okay, and hold up the other one. It almost looks like hewlandite. Nope. Oh, yeah, that looks like some tourmaline. It does to me, some type of tourmaline. You know, a lot of stones have many minerals in them. They're not just one stone. So, I mean, most of my stones have 3 and 4 different stones, types of. So,
Yeah. I was just wondering if something that happened because of the dance. I got this one.
usually,
Drop
that's a
it.
celestite. That's pretty fragile. But the only thing that really bothers stones are the sun, salt, sun.
There's no sun in here.
Okay, and that would be amethyst, citrine. It just takes away their color, things like that. But you can, I just wouldn't, dampness would not bother it. But stones can shift. I have a stone that I worked with, and it was a quartz. I could get it, but it was a quartz, and it was clear when I got it. And then it sometimes takes on the characteristics of grief, or it became very cloudy after I worked with it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And they do take on some of those feelings and qualities from you. I actually had to, I actually put it away for a while. It's never cleared again.
Mm-hmm.
So,
because this, I got
stones do change.
And yeah, I mean, that was the heart one. And now I would never buy such an enormous like rock now. It'd be smaller than this. But this one does feel like, I don't know, it's not as, I don't remember that they were that different in colours. This one's still very kind
They
of.
do take on, now sometimes even the sun, as I said, the sun will create changes in color, will lighten things. I do know that. Celestite, I don't know if that does that, but that's kind of a fragile stone. I know it breaks apart easily.
Really?
The ones that I know that change, there's some that change from water that will, selenite, if you put it, but you have to leave it in water. It's not like just rinsing it off and it'll, go away. You have to leave it in water. Salt affects most stones. I wouldn't use salt on anything at all to clear it, clean it, nothing. Salt does scratch, it affects things. I wouldn't use that. I would use water, but if it has fragile parts, do not use water. Sound is the best thing to clean it or to clear it. I'm not worried about charging crystals. I don't worry about charging crystals. It's nice to put them out in the moon or things like that. It's wonderful, but it's easier for me just to do other things besides I have lots of crystals. Taking them all out there and charging them. So it's more important to clear them. Especially if you use them for any kind of healing work or anything like that, it's important to clear them, cleanse them. And really to do that, I do that with sound mostly. It's easiest. So, I don't think a celestite it might change colors, lighten up, darken.
Yeah, it feels like one's darkened and one's lightened, but it just could be that I've not looked at them in a while.
But I was going to say that, they're all different. I have celestite now. It's broken apart in pieces, I had a big one. Now it's all, it was pretty fragile. So amethyst will change colors. There's a lot of stones that will change colors. If there's some stones that will change colors if you leave them out. So in the sun damages things. It really does. So, so what I would like all of you to do is just, when you get a stone, first thing, get a stone, blow into it, give it your soul breath, do those 3 places, give it your soul breath, sit with it, activate it, ask it, do my meditation. I tell you, the meditation will help you to awaken to any stone. Absolutely will, without a doubt. So I invite you to do that, and things will really, once you feel that spark from that stone, feel it in any way you sense it, things kind of really start to shift. So, and again, of course I say, don't look it up in the book. Don't look a stone up in the book. I can give everybody a list of stones with their elemental energies if you'd like that. I think I have one. There's a lot of stones that most people would have. You know, I have a lot of stones that most people don't have. They're, you know, because I just do. And I can offer that. I can post that on the website. So you don't have to go get a book, you know. You can even go to Heaven and Earth, Robert Simmons, Heaven and Earth, Robert Simmons site, and he will tell you the elemental energies in the stones, but he also gives you all the other clues to the stones. So I don't know if I want you to do that, but I can straight out just give you, I think I have one printed out that I can just post that will give you clues to the elemental energies of the stones, and you can work with them from there and discover your own messages. That's what I absolutely want you to do. And, you know, I've been working with crystals for a long time, and I'm telling you, I still don't. What really has shifted my working with stones is I took that shamanic journey with Lori Andrus, and I went out and found my own stones. And what you do there, if you have an intention, we wanted to find 3 stones for the South. One was for our soul stone, one was for a journey stone. You know, I went out there with specific intention to find a stone that was in my area. And I'm telling you, they came, and these are my healing stones that are in my medicine bundle. So so I quit buying stones, pretty much. I quit buying crystals because it was so amazing that I could go out into nature and with an intention, and there that stone would be. What I want to remind you when you are doing something like that, always, always, always bring offerings with you, such as some cornmeal, anything, some dried flowers, water, anything to return that to the earth. And make sure if you're in a place where you're not supposed to be taking anything, that you don't. You know, there's lots of state parks and things like that. Or if you, I'm not going to say if you do, always ask permission from nature. Is it okay that I do this? You know, sometimes it's okay to take one piece. It's you know, so just asking, if you're going out in nature and finding something that sparks with you in any way, please give an offering back that I need. Please give something back. That's important. So yeah, so you can do it that way if you want to find your stone for the year. Find your intention, go out there in nature, and that stone will appear. I guarantee it. It will. Because you know, everybody here definitely is intuitive. I know that. It's connected to their intuition. It's connected to those resources, and they would be able to find a stone. So. So anything else, ladies? Offer any other wisdom or insight or so I am going to I will connect right before the beginning of every month and pull another stone for the collective. Okay, and maybe I'll do it on Facebook Live. I've never done one of those before. So I don't know, we'll see where I'm at. But hey, I'd love for you to share in the group if you have a different stone or what kind of messages you receive from these. Please listen to the meditation, awaken to your stone, whatever you want it to be. And that's all I have today. Yeah, I do kind of want to close out a little bit though, unless anybody have any more questions. No, nothing. Layla, no. Hey, if you ever need to know anything, just please connect with me one-on-one. I'm happy to offer some information. I love it. So that's one of my that gives me pleasure. You know, I receive when I do that. So okay. So we are going to just kind of again, let's again, I want to put my hands on my heart. Oh, and just blow out all that is not mine. Let all those little tendrils release. Breathe in everything that is me. Bring it back to me. Disconnect from the circle. So glad we were here to support one another today. I thank the Mother for her support. Thank the crystal beings for all that they had to share. And I'm releasing each of us from the circle. And come back when you are ready. Ladies, I thank you so very much. And I encourage all of us to pull one with Alexandra's cards every day. Pull a stone. Find out what our own stones are too. And if ancestral light is that, absolutely wonderful. Bye now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So glad you were here. Bye-bye.